Nicolás Maduro became president of Venezuela in 2013 after the death of Hugo Chavez, inheriting a country with the largest proven oil reserves in the world. At that time, Venezuela depended almost entirely on oil exports, which generated more than 90% of export revenue. Instead of diversifying the economy or stabilizing public finances, the Maduro government expanded state control, strengthened price regulations, and financed spending by printing money. These choices triggered one of the most severe economic collapses of the modern era. Between 2013 and 2021, Venezuela's economy contracted by more than 70%, a decline comparable to countries devastated by large-scale wars. Hyperinflation reached catastrophic levels, peaking in 2018 when prices rose by more than 1 million% in a single year. The national currency, the bolivar, effectively lost its value. Banknotes became so worthless that they were used as scrap paper or discarded entirely. Wages collapsed to the point where a month of work often failed to cover even basic food. Government price controls destroyed domestic production. Businesses were forced to sell below cost, leading many factories and farms to shut down. Food shortages spread nationwide, supermarkets emptied, and rationing became common. Malnutrition increased sharply, particularly among children and the elderly. Hospitals lacked medicine, equipment, and sometimes even electricity or running water. Diseases such as malaria and measles returned after years of absence. As living standards collapsed, corruption expanded. Billions of dollars in oil revenue vanished through mismanagement and alleged corruption within the state oil company PDVSA. Infrastructure deteriorated rapidly. Power outages became routine, sometimes lasting days, affecting hospitals, water systems, and communication networks. Oil production itself collapsed, falling from more than 2 million barrels per day to a small fraction of that amount, despite vast reserves. Politically, Maduro consolidated power by dismantling democratic institutions. The Supreme Court, filled with loyalists, repeatedly blocked the opposition-controlled National Assembly elected in 2015. In 2017, the government created a new Constituent Assembly with broad authority, sidelining the elected legislature. Opposition leaders were jailed, banned from office, or forced into exile. Independent media outlets were censored, shut down, or taken over, while journalists faced harassment and arrest. Elections under Maduro were widely criticized. The 2018 presidential election was boycotted by much of the opposition and condemned by numerous countries as neither free nor fair. Many governments refused to recognize the results, leading to international sanctions against officials and key sectors. While the government blamed sanctions for the crisis, most economists note that the economic collapse had begun years earlier due to domestic policies. Human rights organizations documented widespread abuses. Security forces were accused of arbitrary arrests, torture, and extrajudicial killings. Peaceful protests were met with force, including live ammunition. International investigations reported thousands of civilian deaths during security operations, creating a climate of fear across the country. The social consequences were massive. More than 7 million Venezuelans fled the country, creating one of the largest migration crises in the world. Families were divided as millions left in search of work, sending remittances home to support those who remained. Skilled professionals, such as doctors, engineers, and teachers, emigrated in large numbers, further weakening the state. Despite the collapse, Maduro retained power through patronage, repression, and control over food distribution. Subsidized food programs were often tied to political loyalty, turning access to food into a tool of control. The military gained influence over major industries, ports, and imports, securing its loyalty to the regime. By the early 2020s, limited stabilization appeared due to informal dollar use and relaxed price controls. This was not real recovery. Inequality deepened as a small minority accessed dollars and imported goods, while most remained poor. Public services continued to decay, and long-term investment stayed minimal. Nicolás Maduro's rule illustrates how authoritarian power, combined with economic mismanagement and corruption, can destroy a resource-rich nation. Venezuela's collapse was not caused by a single event or foreign pressure alone, but by years of policy decisions that prioritized political survival over economic reality and human welfare. The effects continue to shape Venezuela and the region, serving as a warning of how quickly a country can fall when accountability disappears and power goes unchecked.